Alright everybody, let's go. It is time for a big quarterfinals match. Down on the bottom right side, he is the most evil, greatest champion of all time. That's right, it is the hype killer, Rogue. And trying to kill the hype of who? Who is he trying to kill the hype of? Well, it's a guy who has massively outperformed expectations. The haters, myself included, were like, yeah, I mean, Bunny's been playing really well, but I don't think he's going to do that well here at Katowice. Well, guess what? He's in the round of 8. He's been kicking ass so far. Let's see what he's got. This is Bunny. Okay, spawning pool first here for Rogue to start off the series. Now, remember, guys, this here was the last series of the day. So what do I mean by that? Well, we actually cast this tournament live. I was there. I did not cast this one at Katowice, but guess what? We were there. And this was the last series of the day. What do I mean by that? Well, guess what? The round of 8 and the round of 12 were played on the same day. 8 best of 5 matches. Each one, especially some of them lasting as long as almost 3 hours. If you get a long back and forth best of 5, someone needs to take a pee break after game 3, which the players are allowed to do. You've got, obviously, walkouts, so the players walking through the smoke onto the stage with Smix going, Buddy versus Rogue, fucking yeah, and then interviewing them afterwards and all that stuff. It adds up in terms of time. And so this one was played starting at, like, I think almost midnight this series started. It was so late. And we were kind of going, okay, how are the players going to hold up? Now, Rogue here, no surprises, is just going to go hyper-aggressive. Pool first, 6 Zerglings into Roach Warren. Normally, you'd only go 2 or 4 Zerglings if you were going straight for the Roach Warren afterwards, but this does look a lot like Lambo's 5 Roach pressure build. It's a very heavy pressure. Bunny is not scouting. And game, you're not scouting versus Rogue? It's Rogue, mate, and it's late at night. You know Rogue's going to try and abuse you with Roach timings. Oh, God. Well, Bunny is trying to just play a very efficient build order, but it is command center first as well. Oh no, CC first, 6 slings are here. I mean, the advantage of CC first, can he get the minerals? He has to cancel the add-on just to get the minerals to get the depot down. Depot losing hit points. Marine trying to do some damage here. Oh, Depot's gonna fall. He does cancel it. Pulls the SCVs. Problem right now, though, is those roaches will be coming out. 5 roaches are on the way. And 6 roaches now as well. He can keep putting Marines one at a time. The advantage of the CC first is the command center finishes early enough that, guess what? They can't cancel it. Whereas if you do a normal expand, this command center is still building. They can kill the SCV building it. That's a problem. Now, he really should be lifting that off. He's going to go down with his Marines, and he's going to pull a few SCVs to try and fight with this as well. Bunny does not know that there's a follow-up, and he's only building a Hellion right now. Oh, no, Bunny, I don't think a Hellion is what you need here. He's just going to try and play risky. He goes for a reactor now as well. Oh, this is so bad. There's 5 roaches. What did I say? 6 roaches coming. Obviously, drones will go down behind this. He does need to start another queen, does Rogue, and a 3rd hatchery to get some sort of follow-up. Of course, this is a huge commitment off just 19 workers. Hellion will go out the front. Oh, no, he doesn't see it. And he's building more Hellions. Oh, God. Oh, no, buddy. Okay, he's got to grab these SCVs, get to the high ground, and he's got to try and fight on the high ground. The Drilly Boys have to assemble. He pulls out his conch. Bunny says, Drilly Boys, assemble! And he does actually call them into action. They've got decent melee damage. He does get us around on the Ravager. Bile does kill the Ravager, but it gets 2 SCVs with the splash damage. And, man, that was actually a beautiful surround from Bunny. Kind of shuts this down, but the problem is these last 2 roaches, how does he actually kill them? Does he lower this and try to surround them? He chooses not to. That means he's only got 2 Marines, 2 Hellions. These are not the units he wants right now. And of course, Rogue is droning behind this quite freely. He's got to defend this. These 2 Ravagers, I mean, it felt like the first wave was defended so well, but that Ravager Cocoon has 5 armor. You cannot kill that. He will, of course, take it out as soon as it finishes. Oh! And he actually kind of abandons the surround temporarily, but you know what? He didn't lose too many SCVs here. Bunny with a fantastic hold, and this shows just how good the StarCraft is that Bunny's been playing in this tournament. Oh, you see that SCV even held position to stop it walking into the pile, but he has no add-ons right now. Reactor, Tech Lab, Reactor, go, go, go. You need add-ons right now, mate. He's got a Viking out there hunting, but he's left the Overlord near his base. That's unfortunate. He's now sending it back to look around. He's going to go up here, and he should find that Overlord eventually. He does see the 3rd hatchery just gone down now. Rogue going up to 3 gases, 36 workers. It feels like Rogue should have been a little higher on economy behind this, but I guess you can't underestimate just how committed the 19 drone Roach Bush is. That is actually just so damned committed. Now, he's got Stim on the way. I always disagree with Stim this early, guys. The reason is you've got a gimped economy from the early game. You haven't started your 3rd command center. I know you want to have Stim and then shields finish, but think about it. You need more barracks. Like, this stim and shields will finish before you have 6 Marines on the map. So I do think Bunny here making stim kind of like, he needs to adapt his build order. He's got money to spend. He needs to hold down the SCV key right now. He is starting to add gases, a single engineering base. So he's going to play 3 barracks before 3rd CC. And this is a style I absolutely hate. And everyone's been doing it every single game on this map. Meanwhile, Rogue going for the most random 4 roach pressure I've ever seen in my life. And Bunny has no units because he's not prepared. Why is he not prepared, guys? This is not because Bunny's bad. It's because Rogue is a fucking... I don't know if he's a monkey brain or a gigantic brain. Who runs 4 roaches across the map right now? This is so random. He's also massing Zerglings with Ling speed. This is such a fucking random roach poke. But like I said, Bunny was so slow on getting these add-ons down afterwards. This roach pressure makes no sense. There are so many things that would just kill these roaches so easily. And no Terran would expect a Zerg to do this. But Rogue is like, what if I just walk 4 roaches across the map and catch him with his pants down? Wouldn't that be funny? Like, literally a few minutes after you just did a 6 roach pressure, you're like, well, if I follow up with 4 roaches later, you'll never expect it. This is what I'm talking about. The sick genius of Rogue is he understands how to do shit that nobody else would even think of doing, and in comes the Ravager Ling all in, tanks on the low ground, easiest win of his goddamn life. Let's just make roaches and lings an A move at random timings. My name is Rogue, and I'm obviously joking, guys. He has this fucking sense for how to kill people, simpler, easier ways than anybody else. His Ravagers, his Roaches, the bane of Terrans. We've seen Maru die to his Roach Ravager 1,000 times, and yet again, another Terran just getting smacked out by this one. CC first defense early game was good, but Bunny there a little slow to respond in the follow-up. Now let's check it out, guys. If he did respond a little bit differently, how could that have looked? So after he held it, how slow were those add-ons? We were talking about it as these Roaches and Ravagers got surrounded. Before we get into the second game, I just want to double check for my own curiosity because there's a lot that's happening. Now, he's still building an extra Marine and a Hellion, as well as a Viking. Now, he could have queued up a Liberator already, and that Liberator counter pressure could have got across the map much faster. Likewise, this Viking could have killed this Overlord, which he unfortunately barely missed out on. And could have built a Reactor Tech Lab now. And you can see it's delayed by about 5 seconds. So it's a small delay there. I do think his extra barracks, we could argue, are a little delayed here as well, since he's sitting on 300-400 minerals for a little bit. His Hellion does see the 3rd base, and oops, accidentally rewound for a second there. My bad, guys. I really need to get rid of that button, actually, that BF button on this observing hotkeys. Yeah, I mean, he could have got these barracks up a little earlier, and you can see Rogue is just following up with a 36 drone. So it's just 3 gases, 2 mineral lines, not even quite full 2 mineral lines, a little undersaturated. He's just going to go 8 Ravagers and Roach Ravager, mass speedling behind it. The barracks do come down a little bit late here. There's no bunker. And, yeah, I mean, it's just, if he had the Viking or the Liberator here, he could defend these Roaches much easier. But these 4 Roaches literally win the game. And it's so weird as well because a lot of players would think if I'm doing a Ravager Ling all in, I don't want to move across and show you my hand and get you to... Because this could make you more defensive and get you more set up for the follow-up wave. But Rogue sensed, and he was very wise, because remember what he saw from earlier, and his Overlord came in and he's like, you know what, you're building add-ons right now? He saw that with the Overlord. You can only build 1 Marine at a time. You're building a Reactor. You don't have a Tech Lab on the starport, so you're not building a Banshee. And he said, well, if you don't have a Banshee or a tank, and you're only building Marines 1 at a time, like, what could you possibly have? Like, I can, at the very least, pick off a depot or 2 here and just be a nuisance, and then run back more for Ravagers and then go in for the actual attack. So this was actually a really just amazing game sense move for Rogue to go in like this. I think at the end of the day, though, guys, I do have to be a little critical of Bunny, just for the fact that he didn't SCV scout. And I understand he wanted to have the most efficient opening, but you are playing Rogue, and it's not just normal Rogue, it's late at night Rogue, where both players are a bit tired because the previous series was so epic and they went for so long that I really do think you need to be scouting in the early game, because Rogue he's going to do some Mega Greed, but he's also going to do some dirty rushes. So we'll see what happens here. The tank definitely should have been on the high ground. You can see that Rogue did not actually have an Overlord forward. So normally you need an Overlord to spot the high ground so that you can bile the tank. Otherwise, you need to get onto the ramp to do it. So if you have a tank on the high ground, what you can do, you can pull back your Hellions, your Marines, your SCVs, and as long as you kind of hold the ramp, if they can't get a Zergling past maybe halfway between the first and the second arrow, then they can't actually see the high ground to bile the tank, and your tank can do massive damage. Of course, ideally, your tank's even further back. It's like back here or something, where they need to get their Ravagers right up there to bile it. That's even better once you realize just how dire the situation is. But in terms of unit count, these add-ons, these barracks aren't quite producing yet. I mean, you're also supply blocked right now, which is just an absolute disaster. So you don't have the extra tanks and marines building. GG, very well played by Rogue. A nice way to start the series. All right, down here in the bottom left, it is Rogue, the blue Zerg. And he has just destroyed Bunny in that game. Bunny is going to counter with a proxy barracks. Uh-oh. Okay, Bunny bringing out the big strats. Now, Rogue is the master of pulling drones and just surrounding the Marines and shutting down the proxy barracks. Now, the times where I see Rogue get in trouble is when he pulls those drones too far. So the real trick with a Terran against Rogue, against a lot of Zergs, I would say the trick is trying to get in there, force him to pull drones and kill as many as you can. With Rogue, the trick is to not get your Marines surrounded. Or get them surrounded so far away from the Zerg base that it's already cost Rogue so much to get the surround. So I really feel like... Oh, is this 3 racks? Oh my god, he's going 3 racks! Bunny! And he's built a 16th SCV, which is interesting. Normally it's triple 15, but he builds an extra SCV there. Okay, gets a 3rd barracks. So guys, if the Overlord spots the 1st barracks, it doesn't see the one in the back. So the whole point here is that Rogue might misread it as a 2 racks when it's actually a 3 racks. He's going Hashcast pool. Pool timing went down 4 seconds ago. 1 minute 12, very tight pool timing. So that's very, very tight pool timing, guys. So it's very well executed opening. If Rogue had messed up with his workers early or something a little bit, or was just an extra second or 2 late on his pool, it would slow him down. Of course, the spawning pool, going to unlock queens, zerglings, spine crawlers, all those things you need to defend. And against a 3 barracks, pulling your drones really far to surround the Marines, kind of dangerous, because this is not just, hey, I'm hitting you with a bunch of Marines and going for a quick factory and 2 gases behind it. This is not that. This is much more all-in, guys. And this sort of build often ends up with all the SCVs getting pulled at some point across the map. It doesn't have to, but that can happen. Now, you don't want to go for the Overlord, because it's hard to kill that with just 1 Marine. He could start hitting it, but instead he's going further to the front, gets a bunker building. He's going to start shooting that Overlord now, and a Spine Crawler goes down. As I said, Rogue will always overpull drones. This is his MO. This is how he likes to hold these pushes. Bunny runs towards it. A surprising factor when you see that many drones pulled. You should always run away in my mind, but he does get a nice surround on one of the Marines, but only 1 so far. Another drone is going to fall, make that 4 drones. Can he get a 5th drone? Another Marine gets surrounded. Oh, he's misclicking. Can he get it? Oh, he doesn't quite get it. He gets a 5th drone. There we go. Loses an SCV as well, though. More Marines coming on in. The bunker finished. Oh, the bunker finished. Rogue screwed. I think Rogue's screwed, guys, unless he can stop these Marines getting inside the bunker, which maybe he can. He's got Zerglings on top, and oh, Bunny is not turning to shoot very much. The SCVs need to get out of there. He's going to lose all of his SCVs. Guys, he's lost every SCV on the front except the one inside the bunker. The drones have been pulled so much that Rogue's mining is trash. Rogue had to cancel his Spine Crawler to get more Zerglings out here. He's got more Lings on the way. The bunker will sell, but no, he doesn't get the money back. And at this point, Bunny has to just build up. Now, Rogue, he does not have gas. He's only got 1 guy mining. He's only on 15 workers. He is absolutely screwed. Bunny can easily fight these Zerglings as long as he doesn't just get surrounded. Bunny! Oh, okay. Decent stutter step, but he did lose 2 or 3 more Marines there, so a little sloppy. You do not want to be losing these units. He's going to try and go command center behind this, but I actually think, why are we lifting the barracks? You can just kill him. You can just keep massing and killing him. I think you send 2 Marines home, maybe 1, probably 2, and you just wedge them in the minerals. And you can pull SCVs if you need them, but even 2 Marines in the minerals will beat those 4 Zerglings. And then you keep massing Marines, and you can actually kill him. Because Rogue's economy is so bad, he can't even afford Spine Crawlers. He's got 2 Queens, which he's injecting and putting tumors down. So the thing is, Rogue, he gets to see, oh, you're abandoning the position, you're not committing anymore, and he's allowed to drone back up here in a position where those Marines were hitting critical mass. Slow Zerglings, no spines, only 2 Queens, no transfuse energy. This is very bad against mass Marines. So I said this often goes to an all-in. You can just expand behind it, but you don't need to, because the all-in is so powerful. With how much damage he did to Rogue, I think Rogue was screwed if he kept massing Marines and pushing. He had Rogue in a very compromised position there, and I think he's just let Rogue get away with a bit of murder. Now Rogue is massing Zerglings underneath a barracks. Hello? Rogue? Rogue's like, I really wanted to do an all-in, but yeah, I did just rally my Zerglings under your barracks, so I guess you know about it, so I guess I go back to droning. Hello? Okay, we've got to remember this game was late at night. Both players' condition was not perfect. That was a huge... Okay, so Bunny's going to move out with his Marines now. I like the idea of faking it, but he should immediately go home because he just saw mass Lings coming out of Rogue, and he should be staying on the ramp. The trick here is, Ling speed mass Ling could come in. You've got to keep them solid on the ramp so the Lings cannot get past them, because you have no actual units reinforcing. The factory is going to be building an add-on. The barracks are building add-ons. So this is a position where you got to be very careful. Now, Rogue immediately drops a Roach Warren here, puts back on gas. He's still droning up right now. He's got 7 lava. Third hatchery is on the way, but it feels like he wants to once again do a Roach Ravager Zergling build, but he doesn't have extra gas, so he can't really hit a timing attack right now. The Marines are not solid on that ramp, so despite seeing the Marines, Bunny is not ready right now, and he's got to pull these SCVs when these Lings run in. He's got to get back up on top of that ramp. Get back up! Oh, he barely gets it up. Run. Okay, how many SCVs does he lose? This is really bad. Dude, get in the pocket! There's a pocket right there. He loses 3 SCVs. That's not good. And look at that. Another one. Oh my god, you cannot leave the ramp right now because you don't have many units. Bunny's factory is not really being used for anything. He's just trying to get a Banshee out for safety because he's worried about Ravagers. 4 Roaches coming out, super random 4 Roaches. I don't even know why he's doing that because he's clearly continuing to drone. Is he going to do 4 Ravagers just to pressure the front? I mean, that will not do well versus the Banshees, but what a weird game this is. He does get a few more SCVs there on the way out, and a little unfortunate for Bunny. Oh no, you can't be affording to lose anymore. Okay. Marines are building. So he's got the single Banshee for safety. Where'd it go? There we go. It's going out front. Going to just pick off a few of these Zerglings. And he even targeted the weak Zerglings. So Bunny there, a true pro gamer, doing some very sick micro. Spore Crawlers go down in each base. And that third base should be getting droned up. These 4 Roaches really confused me because you clearly have your opponent pinned back with no ability to counterattack. So it feels like Rogue probably should have droned up more then. But Rogue definitely playing a bit of an intuitive game. It really feels to me like one of these days when I'm doing cheesy builds on the ladder, like, and you're just everything is trying to surprise and catch the Terran off guard. Rogue is not focused on rock solid play. He's focused on disruptive play. It's all about throwing a spanner in the works. Literally, I mean, Bunny is on, he's been on his Terran bicycle, just racing down the roads of this tournament at lightning speed, playing really clean, solid StarCraft this whole tournament. And at this point, Rogue is saying, yeah, I could do that, but I'm tired, number 1. Number 2, I'm a gambler. I don't like playing solid StarCraft ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait in the bushes next to the bicycle track, and I'm literally going to throw a spanner, which is a wrench for those of you in America, into the spokes of your bicycle. So it's not, some would say it's not the most manly front-on strategy, not the most warrior-like, but it's goddamn effective. And, for those who say that there should be rules in war, well, the victors get to write the history books, and Rogue, of course, a 3-time world champion, not really the kind of guy who gives a shit about following the rules, does he? Sets up a pervert overseer on the high ground there. Can see a fair bit of what's going on, and he is going to go into mass Roach Ravager up against the Marine tanker Bunny. Now, Bunny is not building SCVs right now, so he's going kind of all in with Marine tank. He's got 7 Marines building at a time. Did I just see that right? I think... How's he... Okay, there we go. 7 Marines building at a time. He's got 2 barracks lacking add-ons, but he's got a 3rd command center that... This is a fake 3rd, all in. He's doing a Marine tank all-in build. Bunny is not building SCVs at all. +1 and combat shields are going to hit before 1-1. Dude, this might kill Rogue. This might actually kill him because he's getting in there. There's no Ravagers ready just yet. They are finished morphing. If they can get in range of the tank, that'll be huge. But that is a big if. Look at these biles. They try to land on the bio. The Ravagers on the south side going up, bouncing off the camera. I do like the Spore Crawler. Gets a few hits off. The Banshee survived with just a single 2 hit points. And the Marines come forward. They keep dodging. Oh, he beats his own biles as well. I thought Rogue would be so well prepared. The Zerglings go in. They find an empty mineral line. And he realizes, oh shit, you're actually basically all in. And Bunny is just smashing through Rogue. He goes a little bit too far forward there, and his Marines do start to fall a little bit. I don't think he needs to run on top of the Roach Ravager. The tanks are the units that he needs to fight in range of. Lings come in from behind. He's got to get back to defend those tanks. He cannot afford to lose these siege tanks, and he does defend them. Rogue coming forward. Bile! He's got to bile the tank. Okay, he biles 1 on each tank. One of the tanks goes down. The other one just 1 bile short of death. Bunny needs to keep this rally going, and I think he needs to rebuild his SCVs just to ensure that he does win here. How the hell is Rogue supporting this? I can't believe it. If Rogue gets that tank 1 more hit, he gets it. There's another tank behind it, but the 3rd hatch is somehow still alive and fully mining. I mean, Rogue has such a big income, and guess what? The 1-1 is about to kick in. As the 1-1 kicks in, his Roaches are going to trade much better versus these +1 attack Marines. The tank is here, but the reinforce feels like it's been very flaccid for Bunny. I think the Lings maybe caught a siege tank or something before hitting that mineral line. We'll have to go back and check. The siege tank does take a bile. It's going to get focused down. And the medevacs, they're all out of energy at this point. There's only a handful of Marines and a Marauder left. And Rogue, with a miraculous hold of his third base, maintains the 15 to 20 worker advantage. And Bunny is kind of forced to go to plan B. He's holding down the SCV key. We expect an armory to come in soon so we can keep upgrading off that engineering bay. But he's going to have to do some multi-pronged. Oh, I love it. Fake drop! Fake drop! Bunny! Big dick Bunny. Oh my god, he's going to go to the left side. I love it. Look at this. The roaches are being split there. He's going to split some units in the main as well. The medevacs boost in towards the main. The roaches aren't really responding that quickly. And the army just goes for a dive! Oh, cheeky dickhead plays from Bunny. Beautiful, beautiful play. Does take out the hatchery. Get out, get out, get out, get out. You're staying too long. Gets a Ravager and does lose those Marines on the bottom to the Broodlings, unfortunately. But well worth it. Snipes the third hatchery. There is a fourth on the way, so of course Rogue will transfer his workers over there. But that was a very cool play by Bunny. Now, check it out, guys. +1 finishes. Armory kicking in. In this low economy situation, you don't want a second engineering bay because you just can't afford it. You don't have the gas or anything. So he's basically just got a start +2 there. Keep building Marine tank. He's only got 2 tanks right now. Rogue's going to go for a big 1-1 Roach Ravager counterattack. And Bunny maybe wants to shuffle this tank forward. Oh, I like the tank on the high ground. Real conservative. Yeah. Oh, he stims forward. Oh, because the Ravagers are morphing. Interesting, though. Fighting away from the tanks. So the idea here, guys, is Bunny wants to get out in front and engage and force him to drop his biles before he gets in range of the tanks and then lure him into big tank fire. Bunny looks like he should be able to smash through this army. He does lose the Liberator in the tank, but he chases this down and he is killing all of the Ravagers. Does pull SCVs, but that is a beautiful win for Bunny there. The distraction medevacs Rogue there. Never going for the elegant solution that hedges his bets. Always says, fuck it, let's just go for the kill. And hoping that Bunny had overcommitted to the push. But Bunny there, fantastic play off the back of that. I do think maybe he missed an opportunity to capitalize off of his 3 racks. But, and double down on the Marine all-in. Because I think he forced so many drones off the line for so long. But anyway, guys, I wanted to just check if when this push was happening, I wanted to see what that Zergling counterattack actually caught. So the Zerglings gets defended by the Banshee. And then they come in from this side, and they don't actually intercept any army, right? They just come in behind these tanks. Okay, so it does feel like this tank was maybe a little slow, but... yeah. Let's go back a little bit and check, was that tank producing as early as it could have been? Yeah, it definitely wasn't. So check it. So here's the second tank that's going to load up. I don't think the third tank builds for quite a while, and... obviously, Marines, medevacs can rally quicker and easier across the map, but and he's actually out of gas. So you could argue this is not even a mistake. It's a priority thing, and then he does get enough, and he starts it pretty quickly after. But he hits a supply block. So it's delayed because of gas. Then he hits a supply block, does a supply drop. It does finally start up. Hence the delay on that siege tank. All right, guys, Bunny ties it up 1-1. Let's go to game 3. All right. Hello, everybody. We are going into game number 3 now, as the series is being tied up 1-1 in this best of 5. He had a pretty decent hold early on, but I mean, he did lose a lot of drones to that 3 racks. And let's see what he can pull out here on Blackburn. Is it going to be a continuation of Roach Ravager as the core of his Zerg versus Terran? This is Rogue. It's been a while since I saw Rogue's Mutalisk play, even though I know it can be very good. Down here in the bottom right, it's Bunny. Going for a barracks gas. No command center first shenanigans or anything like that this time around. So I kind of like it. Command center first, proxy barracks, now barracks gas. I mean, Bunny is keeping things very different game to game, keeping himself unpredictable. And as the kind of baseline, more aggressive race early on, then that's the way to do it. Definitely keep your opponent on their toes. Nothing worse than a strategy game player that becomes just way too predictable. And look at that, I like this. Gas there, pool here. So Rogue, a man after my own heart. No choke points around this, really. A little one there, but not really. And also the spawning pool, very protected from the drops that can come into the main from this angle and easily kill a spawning pool over here. So really good setup from Rogue. I like it. No usage of the gold base just yet, as you would expect. I mean, Reapers, Hellions, going to take advantage of a gold base pretty quickly. So you do expect the Zerg to go 3rd there, 4th here. However, if he's playing Roach Ravager, maybe he does just take a fourth at the front and kind of controls this middle space. But these slow zones are a very scary area to play against the superior range and firepower of the Terran units. Something where you want to be breaking these rocks down and kind of moving up these ramps, coming down these areas to swamp over your opponent with those numbers. Reaper into Marine, second depot is on the way. And we'll be seeing a factory in the near future as well. SCV is going to try and block the third base. Does he commit to the engineering bay to block that is a question. Rogue is not sending a drone out yet, which is bizarre. Hello? Rogue? Do we not want a third base? Rogue? Are you doing a 4-queen opening? Okay, Rogue. I think seeing the SCV, he said, I know you're going to eBay block. I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to do it. That is kind of weird because it does mean this is going to get a bit awkward for Rogue as he does go for the 6 Zerglings. Everyone loves the 6 Zerglings these days. Top Zergs apparently unable to micro 4 Zerglings. Look at how many extra hit points you have there, man. I'm not a fan of the 6 Zerglings unless it's a tiny map and you're playing an exceptionally skilled Terran. Now, as the Reaper does rotate towards the main, Zerglings come down, chase the SCV off. Queen's going to try and intercept. Will she get the kill? No, Reaper comes and saves it. Third hatchery still goes down before the 3-minute mark, so it's not too late. And indeed, this was just a 3-queen opening, not a 4-queen. So I personally would always send the drone down, fight the SCV, and I would be happy to force the Terran to waste money on that engineering bay. I'd be like, oh, hell's yeah, I don't mind having one drone not mining. Interesting to see that Rogue doesn't want to kind of involve himself in that dance at all. And is like, nope, keep up my queens, keep up my drones. Take the third hatch slightly later. And yeah, I mean, it delays it getting injected. It delays it spreading creep to the north, but that's not as important on this map. And it does also, you know, just delay it producing lava. But as I say all this, guess what, guys? No ling speed. No ling speed for Rogue, and he's dropping a Roachy Warren. Roach Warren goes down. Oh man, he's so obsessed with Roach Ravager play. Now, there is a big argument that Roach Ravager play is simply suboptimal. Oh no! Oh, that Reaper does go down. So one thing though against someone who does that is you don't really want to do Hellbat timings against someone who plays Roaches every game. And yet Bunny here is going for a Widow Mine drop. Oh, Invisible Widow Mine drop into Hellion run by, or Hellbat attack on the third. This is, okay, fascinating play for Bunny. I think this is good versus Zerg. You expect to play Ling Bane, but Rogue has been so Roach focused. If he starts Roaches up now, and look at his supply, he's definitely going to start Roaches. Wait, what the fudge is he doing? He's got so much lava. Okay, 7 Roaches starting up, but he doesn't have Ling speed. Is he planning to just do an 8 Roach pressure on the natural? I think he is. Okay, this is such a peculiar play by Rogue. Those Roaches might pop just as this drop comes in. This could be very just lucky timing for Rogue. Check this out. Roaches are going to pop as the Widow Mines come in. As long as he reacts quickly, Rogue should be fine. And well done. Nice reaction. Drops a Spore Crawler there. The Widow Mine does fire on the eggs like the genius that it is. Widow Mine's a highly intelligent unit, guys. The programming of the Terran, very smart. When I say very smart, I mean, can you spell moron? Because that's basically how they do it. Hellbats and Marines going to run into Roaches. Not a good fight for them. One Hellbat almost falls. He's going to have to hold on the ramp. Morph Hellbats and Marines on the ramp. You should be able to defend that quite easily. Just needs to boost the medevac to make sure he gets unloaded. Widow Mine in the main does go down. Widow Mine in the natural has fallen. And the medevac, unfortunately, not steering around the map. Hellions and Marines are going to try and fight these Roaches, but a little bit of an awkward engagement. Bunny getting way too fancy here. He absolutely should have pulled back to the ramp. Oh, Bunny with a terrible decision to try to jump on those Roaches. That was not the way this fight was meant to go, guys. If he morphed Hellbats on top of this ramp, there is nothing Rogue could have done. He does have an Overlord nearby, actually, so maybe he could have chipped away at it, but you could have bought a lot of time on that ramp. Meanwhile, we do have a Banshee that's almost out. You just needed to buy time as Bunny, but he did screw the pooch there. Hellions are getting some great splash damage. He still has not morphed into Hellbats because he's afraid of the Roaches just kiting them, but definitely a good bit of I mean, it's only 4 SCVs. How is it only 4? Man, Bunny's like good at pulling SCVs somehow and defending things that I feel like he should have lost 10 SCVs there. We'll check how damaged they all are in a moment. Ravager does go down. Overlord does go down. Sees the 3rd command center. They're not really that damaged either. Fair enough. Okay, I mean, that's actually acceptable for Bunny. He's got a factory there as well. I mean, imagine how clean it would have been if he didn't throw those Marines away, though. If he had 8 Marines up here, that would have been amazing. Lair's there. Double Evo. Where's the double Evo at? Down at the 3rd base. He's going to go for the gold base as well. I'm never a big fan of it, but if you've got Roach Ravager shoving your opponent, it's going to be hard for him to punish you. 3 Hellions are going to look for a little dive in. Banshee in the middle. Now, if they get in this gap, get in the mineral line, they could do some stuff, but Rogue, quick response. And those Evos. Fortuitous. Definitely well placed. Link speed's going to come in as well for Rogue, which is interesting since it does seem like he's going to be going 1-1 upgrades. He's now on 6 gases, so the gas is coming in very quickly. He starts Roach speed. Why would you go Roach speed and Ling speed before 1-1 upgrades? Rogue, once again, is doing Rogue things. Guys, these upgrades, they're good for defending, but there's no attack that can really hit you right now. You've got, like, what, 4 Roaches, 4 Marines and a Marauder going to be coming across. Now he starts Carapace, but it does seem like an unnecessary delay on these upgrades. Now, the 1-1, if you're going up to a gold base and droning like Rogue is, you want to go straight for 2-2. There's no reason for you to not go for those upgrades that take longer and then have other upgrades that are gated behind them first. So a little bit of an error there from Rogue in my opinion, or maybe not error, but de-optimization, unoptimized play. I speak words good, what can I say? Professional commentator. Nice spore line here to keep Bunny out of the main. He can of course siege from the low ground, but going to be a very slow and arduous process to just sit there hitting the spore. Spore can always shuffle backwards. Bunny does not engage in that. Infestation pit goes down, and as I said, yeah, Rogue is not just playing a roach timing. He's playing a macro game this time. He's going to go lurk a Viper, so we'll see how Bunny handles that. He's up to 5 barracks, has a second factory on the way. If he goes Tech Lab on that, he can get a lot of siege tanks out. He's not building SCVs. Bunny's been cutting a lot of... There's been a lot of gaps in his SCV production. He does have an armory from earlier, so he can start 2-2 the moment his 1-1 finishes. But I worry about the fact that he's sitting on 59 SCVs. This speaks to a very all-in Bunny. And of course, Rogue is kind of posturing like he wants to hit an attack timing. Tries to bile the Banshee, doesn't quite hit it. Banshee will take out 1 Ravager there, so Rogue does just have to fall back. No point throwing Ravagers away just to feint at your opponent. Lurker on the way at the top as well. 5th base going down. Bunny is now building a handful more SCVs, but I mean, he's got double factory tank going and he hasn't taken the gases on his 3rd. I've got to question Bunny's economic focus in this game because it's not going to line up. He can't afford 2-2. He can't afford double tank production. He's still not building more SCVs or gases. Bunny, you've got to focus. Stop microing your Banshee. Your macro is not sorted out right now. I mean, Bunny's played a fantastic tournament so far, but playing against such an annoying player as Rogue in such a high-pressure match, we can see that Bunny is focusing on all the little things that do not matter right now, and he's not fixing up his economy at home. This is a big problem. Picking off a few tumors is nice. Rogue will immediately replace these. It's not going to really slow him down. And finally, he realizes, wait a second, I don't have gas to start 2-2. Oh, shit, let's start 2-2. He's going to have to cut Marauder production, swap into Marines a little bit just to save a bit of gas. Delay tank production on that just to get his 2-2 started. Bunny right now trying to do a little pressure with a handful of units. This is not going to achieve anything. Does lose a couple of those units and then tries to boost back to his siege tanks. No 4th command center either. As I said, Bunny is really gearing up for a 2-base all-in. He still has not put on gases. Bunny, what are you looking at right now? Oh no, this is not the Bunny that we saw in the earlier stages of this tournament. And he's still, you can see we're on Bunny's camera right now. He's frantically trying to check where is this Roach Ravager assault going to come from, and you can feel the panic. I think he really was expecting Rogue to commit into attack into him, and then he would be able to counterattack and kill him, but he still has not put workers on the gas on his 3rd base. He hasn't started 2-2, and he's essentially just doing a maxed out 1-1 all-in right now. This is a very, very committed attack. It still could potentially break Rogue. Rogue dropping some biles down. Does damage to Medivacs, doesn't do much else. The Marines in the main and the Hellback are going to pick off some units, damaging a Viper and killing a Hydra as well. Not bad. Biles do land just a little bit on the Marines. Does take a bit of damage. He doesn't have that many Medivacs, so he's got to be careful. This army looks very small, but the Lurkers! Gotta watch out for those Lurkers. Now remember, there are 2 Vipers sucking energy off of that hatchery over there. Medivacs do get cleaned up in the main base by the Queens. The Lurkers have shuffled back for now. Bunny, hopefully, has saved some scans, because it's going to take him a lot of scans to push through this position. A volley does kill a lot of his bio there. And these tanks are going to need to spread out. Blinding Cloud there would get 3 tanks. Blinding Cloud there would get 3 tanks. Right now, Bunny is incredibly vulnerable to getting jumped on, but Seismic Spines and 2-2 aren't quite done. Rogue wants to buy time. He does not want to fight until he gets that double upgrade advantage and Seismic Spines. 30 seconds needs to be bought, but he's taking heavy tank fire. Rogue, trying to be patient and buy time, is presenting a big target for Bunny's army, and a lot of that army is going to come down a ramp where it's going to be incredibly choked up for tank fire. Bunny should be spreading further and further. Right now, he's got to keep moving these tanks forward and moving them forward methodically, 1 or 2 at a time. There's only 2 Vipers out. They grab 1 tank. They need to get more energy, and they will do just that. He's got to move forward. These tanks are blocking each other. He's got to keep moving these tanks forward. I do think he's got Rogue pinned, but Bunny's giving him too much time. Rogue is up against the wall, but Bunny failing to press his advantage. He needs to move forward right here, right now. He is all in. He just put on gases, just started the Ghost Cannon. He doesn't have a fourth base. Ghosts are not going to be the play in this game. Bunny is all in right now, remember. He's on 1-1 upgrades. He's starting a fourth command center, which tells us Bunny is not confident pushing forwards, but he had to be confident. The Vipers just used all their energy to slow down the tanks. There's still 7 tanks here. That's enough tanks to keep pushing forward, but you can see he's taken a lot of damage on his bio without them really doing anything. They're still taking hits from the lurkers. He keeps bleeding his bio into the lurkers. This is a very messy push from Bunny, and Rogue, honestly, was actually caught out by this all-in attack from Bunny, and I do think he would have gone down, but look, now he's got another couple of abducts, keeps pulling these tanks in 1 or 2 at a time, and Bunny has just given him way too much time. This sort of push is a momentum push. You always know you're going to get abducted, but there's only so many abducts the Zerg has, so it's a numbers game. It's about, okay, he abducted 2 or 3 tanks, but now my tanks are in range of the hatchery and he's losing lurkers, and that just hasn't been what he's achieved in this game. It's a big issue. Look at this lurker on the right side actually is in range of that tank as well, I believe, and Bunny unfortunately missing a bit of an opportunity. Was he lacking the scans? I mean, he's very low on scans for sure, but his tanks just weren't moving forward. He 100% would have had scans about to tick over. He just was not moving into range of the lurkers, and you can do that even when your scans aren't quite ready. Tanks are getting taken out by lurkers and abducts on that side. Lurkers defend the gold base as well, and this just seems like it's a foregone conclusion, right? He's lost all of his siege tanks. He's still got a giant army, but how do you get through 20 lurkers with double upgrades and a double upgrade advantage as well? Nidus Worm's going up. Rogue already thinking about counterattacking to take out the production of Bunny behind this. He's got a beautiful lurker spready. The Liberators are going to move forward, and the tanks as well. He's going to try and pick up and drop inside the main by the looks of it. He's picking up his whole army, but surely Rogue can see this? No, he can't see that, actually. Oh, okay. Bunny's being very cutesy right now. He's going to go up into the main base. But remember, there is Blinding Cloud, and he doesn't have many tanks up there as well. These lurkers are just going to move right through the tank fire. This army needed to stim on them. If he stimmed that army on them as they run, he could have forced them to burrow. Parasitic Bomb and the lurker splash. The spores from the bottom. The medevac's getting taken out. The bio staying way too long in lurker range. A bit of a pattern in this game for Bunny, unfortunately. Rogue, though, his supply is getting kind of low right now. Even though he's had that 5th base up in the top left going this whole time, the lurkers should be able to defend this. The bio takes out 1 more lurker, picks up. He's going to try and pull out. He will lose those medevacs on the way out. Will he, though? Oh, yes, he will. Oh, man. I thought he was going to fly over the spore, but then when he went over the queen, I was like, maybe he makes it out, but not quite. I do think he should have tried to go around the left and redrop the natural, but this is such a problem for Bunny. Bunny does have a 4th base up somehow, which means this game actually could go on. He's up in supply. The power of a forward position and not giving space for his Zerg, you can see just how many units bleed out simply by running into tank fire, running into Liberator fire. It's a very awkward position for Rogue, and as much as Bunny's made some missteps, I gotta say, the fact that he is simply so aggressive and pushing the momentum is working well for him. The lurker den does come up there. Tanks should be able to defend another Nidus Worm on that high ground, so we can pop lurkers up here and siege this one. And there we go. Nice, just stim A move. Don't need to wait to siege in that scenario. Takes out those 4 lurkers. Parasitic Bombs are going to damage these Liberators. Not going to quite kill them. Just put them down in the red. Hydra's still rallying to their death. You've got to fix your rally point, Rogue. Rogue not fixing his rally point. He is bleeding out. Dude, those Hydras rallying to their death is so bad. Good SCV pull here by Bunny. He's now going to pull that force home to clean up the other Nidus Worm. And I think at this point, as Bunny, I guess you just maintain this position. Rogue, fix your rally points. Okay, he's changed his rally points into the Nidus Worm now. So he's going to try and just rally units to the other side of the map. The lurkers there do take this army out. Oh, and Bunny, he's actually sieged this tank in range of that front lurker. Does he have a scan? Oh no, I don't think he had a scan there. These lurkers being a bit of a nuisance right now, trying to get a bit more control over that 3rd base. He's going to run the lurkers up there and use the Overlord to spot so we can kill the barracks on the high ground. Very cute. Another Hydra rallying in. Still, these Hydras rallying to their death. Rogue, his rally points have been really causing him trouble in this game. You can see these 2 top hatcheries are rallied to the Nidus Worm, and as a result, the Hydras are just rallying to their death. Rogue has got to fix this up. Shades of Idra vs. Elfie in 2011, where he was rallying Hydras into Phoenix one at a time for 4 minutes straight, and wondered why Phoenix was so good. It's the exact same scenario. It's the panic, the chaos of the situation. The misrally is so hard to notice because there's so much going on. You've got attack warnings all over the map. Liberator going to deny that mining on the gold base right now. The lurkers have pulled back. This has turned into a real banger of a game. I mean, honestly, I thought Bunny had screwed up with that push because I do think he could have killed Rogue if he pushed in harder and faster. But the way this ended up going, It's actually turned into an absolute slobber knocker. And yeah, that's a new word I learned. Shout out Kalaris there. Hydra's vomiting out there. The Drilly Boy does get taken down. Planetary in the north should be able to defend for now. That Liberator could, of course, take those out. This hatchery falls. Liberator's going to go forward and try to siege that base. If it sieges away from the Spore, it could be big. Massive counterattack of Hydra Lurker. He's only got one tank on the D. A couple of Ghosts, though, could be very useful. He's very low on scans. Beautiful Liberator siege. Hydras, though, will respond and clean it up. Very well played by Rogue. Planetary's taking big damage right now. He's going to try and come down and save that base, and indeed he will. Oh, very nice hold by Bunny. I actually love the push from Rogue to force Bunny to come out and engage him, but it worked against him. It worked really well for Bunny, who's now still up 25 supply. This base goes back to mining. This is the lifeline of Rogue. He's got a few mineral patches on his third. He's got that base healthily mining, though he does need to put back on gas. Nidus Worm in the main going to come on up. This fourth base for Bunny looking good. He's got a command center there. He can re-land that third. Oh, Abduct's coming forward, and a couple of these units do go down. Parasitic Bomb taking out the Lib. 2 tanks going down to the Lurkers. Got some Hydras over here as well, and it looks like they are going to clear up this contain for the first time in the last 10 minutes of this game. Rogue will control the space in front of his natural and third, and that's got to be such a relief for him because he's still damaging Bunny's economy. Bunny does not have that many command centers. He does need to lift this one out, probably towards the gold base or something like that. It feels like Bunny has the better army with the Ghosts up, but he doesn't actually have a lot of bio, right? It's just 21 Marines, 7 tanks, 7 Ghosts, a Liberator, 8 Medivacs, up against what is essentially a mass Hydra force with 2-2, a handful of Lurkers, and barely even a handful, 3, and 2 Vipers. Vipers, one of them with max energy, one with 100 energy, so about half. Liberator Harass on the top going to continue. That's a very good play, just low APM, low commitment, but big potential denial there. Overlord's coming out to scout for Rogue, will get taken out by the Marines. That, of course, could be Nidus spotters, but oh, Bunny with a miscue. Big mistake there, mate. So he's going to quickly unsiege, but now it's already almost dead, which means a couple Hydra shots and it will go down. Drop in the south. He's got to be careful. Abducts and Hydras are very scary, dude. They can just abduct full medevacs and get him. Liberator in the top being an absolute dick in the bag of dicks to the face of Rogue. And the Spore does move, though. Pretty good handling. We still don't have this main floating out. He's building another barracks right now because he's only got 4 barracks. So Bunny right now is on 2 tech labs. And another Nidus Worm goes up. That is wasted money for Rogue. Let's look at the units lost tab. You can see Rogue has been pretty inefficient in this game. His Lurker ambush could be big. Watch out, Rogue. Watch out, Bunny. Now, it's a fantastic kill if he gets it, though. He's got plenty of scans, guys. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scans available in just a moment as he ticks up about 4 or 5 energy on 2 of those command centers. Double drop going to head towards the south side. It's still a big Lurker, Viper, Hydra army, but there's 9 Ghosts and 12 siege tanks out. As long as those tanks aren't caught in the open, where's the support? Rogue just YOLOs up the guts. An absolutely insane attack. He had no information to go off, but he just said, let's see if there's an opening. He dives in the middle, and lo and behold, the hype killer's instincts are on point. Bunny was like, you would never just randomly shove down the guts without having any information, because you would assume I'd be defended there, but his tanks were all unsieged. They were all clumped, and Rogue just shoves in, gets all the tanks. The Marines are useless without the tanks. The Ghost can't do that much. He gets right in the guts of it, and I cannot believe Rogue just did it. I cannot believe after this back and forth crazy game, Rogue just shoves in with 0 information and annihilates all the tanks and Ghosts and everything. It was a very dangerous maneuver, but of course, if he met fierce resistance, he could turn around, and Bunny was the player who just got caught. No vision up the middle. Completely surprised. We've got to look at that from Rogue's point of view. How does he make that decision? I would never have pushed in there at that moment, but this is Rogue, guys. He's like, yeah, I have a Lurker here. Oh, he sees a medevac, so he's like, you know what? He does have vision. Oh, he sent a changeling in, and he sees a few unsieged tanks. He's got Lurkers harassing on the gold and the north. He sees scans up there. Look at this. So he saw unsieged tanks already. He sees more unsieged tanks. He's got a Lurker harassing there. He just saw a scan up there, which means he knows there's a bunch of Ghosts or Bio. And he's like, you know what? Let's just shove it. Let's watch this from his point of view. And he goes, oh, fudge yeah. So he was obviously just seeing if he could find something. And then he just catches so many tanks on siege. They clump up. Oh, what a disastrous moment of inattention for Bunny. And we see the danger of a very tank-focused defense there. If it gets caught out of position, unsieged, clumped up, especially against Vipers, right? Without the Ghost there to EMP the Vipers. Oh, man. We see that those tanks are a very, very good unit in the right situation, and they're a very, very bad unit in the wrong situation. Tanks are either terrible or fantastic, and it's purely based on the setup. Beautiful instincts by Rogue, gets the 2-1 lead. Alright guys, we are going into the next map now. It's going to be Hardwire. This man almost won that game despite what I thought was some really kind of big macro mistakes with the gases, the lack of upgrades, and oh my god, you know what? Did he not have 2-2 even at the end of that game? I mean, he was almost pure tank ghost liberator, so it kind of didn't matter, but oh my god, someone in Twitch chat watching live, please tell me, did he not have 2-2 even at the end of that game? It's just dawned on me that he might not have ever made 2-2 in that game. Not that Rogue had 3-3, but still, definitely forgetting those upgrades for such a long time, not taking gases on the third so he couldn't reinforce the tanks, and not pushing as hard as he could. I do think Bunny missed an opportunity there. I was amazed, though, that he found so much ground and made it look so good. Bunny, still an absolute beast of a player, but Rogue has a way of wriggling out of these situations. You got to put him in the ground, man. You got to kill him dead. There's people out there who are saying, hey, I think if they were playing fresh, Bunny would have beaten Rogue. He'd already beat him the few times previously they played in Super Tournament and the like, and had a really good record versus him recently, which I think a lot of casual fans were surprised by. And I gotta say, I maybe agree with you. I do think it would be interesting to see how it would have changed up. I think Rogue would have played better as well, though. I don't think this is only affecting Bunny. The fact that they're playing so late at night, and you know, at this stage of the series, it's getting to like almost 1 a.m., I think, so it's a bit of an issue. Command Center is up. It is Command Center first into Reaper, and then Factory. So, against Hatchcast Pool, not a bad opening. Rogue will go for the quick third base here. So that's a pretty economic build. You don't really need to react against the Command Center first. Terran will be a little ahead on their economy, but their Hellions and so on will come across the map a bit later, so you can get your creep going a bit earlier. Of course, Rogue already going 6 Zerglings for no reason. And I've been critical of Dark and just all the top Zergs for doing this. It makes no sense to build 6 Zerglings. Even on this map, it's so big, even if they go for the early Reaper with a standard opening. But in this scenario where you didn't even see a Reaper move past your Overlord, I mean, I guess on this map, maybe the Reaper... No, you should have seen it go here, right? I don't know, man. Because the Reaper always goes out the front on this map. I don't think it goes out the back, does it? I just don't know why you build these extra Zerglings. I really think this is a huge inefficiency. If you guys can do me a favor, tweet at Lambo, SC2. Lambo, why do all the Korean Zergs make 6 lings even on giant maps when there's literally no need to in Zerg vs Terran? Or just remind me to ask him later, because I'm like, why? Why? Even when the Reaper's there, it makes no sense, man. It's more worth it to lose 1 Zergling, which isn't even a foregone conclusion. You could save all 4 of them and have an extra drone out. But definitely a mistake in my opinion. Zergling Scout does come in very nicely. Reaper coming forward. And got those 2 Creep Tumors. They do want to spread right now. Just came off cooldown. Overlord sees where that Reaper is. Got to move that Queen forward. And here we go. Fusion Core. Oh, Bunny. Bunny. I'm not sure why, but sometimes, I mean, when I look at a Terran who goes Battle Cruiser, and for some reason they always do it on this map. It's like surprisingly common here. I do get almost excited as Forrest Gump when he sees the love of his life. Bunny, are you going to make Battle Cruisers? Yes, you are. Oh my. Viking is going to try and deny vision. Rogue's not even going for a scout. He just left his Overlord out front, so Viking not 100% necessary here, but we'll see how it goes. The Reaper comes in. Doesn't really see too much. Zergling does run past the Hellions. He's running the gauntlet. And the Hellions say no. Hey, dickhead, no. Ro8's finishing up. He's got quite a lot of Overlords free. Rogue is going to go Ravager, Ling. Triple gas. This is not an all-in, but it is an incredibly committed attack of 40 workers. It's going to come at a very surprising moment in the game. The Battlecruiser is supply blocked. Oh no! Bunny's doing a pig! He starts the BC, realizes he's supply blocked, and then starts the depot. Oh man, and the thing is, guys, he needs this Battlecruiser to pop to defend this attack. Now, his 3rd Command Center will finish in time. The problem he's having is he has 0 units. He has 1 Marine and 6 Hellions, and those Hellions are sitting at home trying to deny scouting. He needs to get across the map. If he doesn't see the Roaches coming, he won't even have time to build a bunker on the high ground, let alone get out some Widow Mines or Marauders or anything else. Oh no, Bunny here is like, oh man, and Rogue's just like, I'm just gonna throw some shit at you. Ravagerling, it's a good attack. You're focused on denying scouting right now with the Viking. Guess what? Let's just march across the map. You're not gonna see it coming at all. The Battlecruiser will take forever to clean this up. Hellions are gonna spot the Roaches. He needs to get back inside his wall. Get out of there! Run, Bunny! Run! Run! button. He's trying to build Marines. He's got a battlecruiser, but it's still 15 seconds. It would already be out. If that battlecruiser was... No! He lets him up the ramp! Oh no! Those SCVs! This is why you don't let the SCVs up the ramp. And the Hellions are not shooting the Zerglings, they're shooting the Roaches. Biles breaking the SCV line. Oh no, that wall should have bought him valuable time and a few very powerful volleys, but he loses 26 SCVs. The mistakes just keep stacking up for Bunny in this series. And this is heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking testament to brutal tournament schedules, but also the vicious, aggressive, no holds barred nature of Rogue. He is such a dickhead to play against. He's so goddamn hard to predict, and you just... And what do? You lift this command center. You're going to make that into an orbital. You do not want SCVs. I almost feel like put the command center back there just to seal the wall off. Battlecruisers there. The Marines are all on the low ground. Fresh mules in the open. Oh, no. He's going to lose 3 more SCVs, 2 mules, all of his Marines. As Rogue, it's worth hanging around even just to kill depots, in my opinion, because that battlecruiser kills you so slowly. But he's going to back off and try to tempt him into coming out again. And Bunny is so far into Dicktown that he can smell the deep, deep, deep smell of the Zerg taint. It's not a good smell. Zergs, of course, are units that like literally don't even hesitate before climbing into the sphincter of an overlord if they're going to be dropped. They don't hesitate to dive headfirst into the butt of the Nidus and then get vomited out of its mouth. I mean, they are totally down with all sorts of weird shit. And Bunny, oh man, he's in such a disastrous position. Look at this. Double Evo, Spire, 3 bases almost completely full of workers. He can build a 4th, a 5th base, go to 75 workers, and Bunny tries to make an orbital, cancel and lift, cancel and lift, cancel and lift. You can't defend that, bros. Cancel and lift. He's going to try and defend it. But Rogue could even surround those Marines, to be fair, man. Because the medevac does come down. Battlecruiser pokes in, gets deflected by the Queens. It's got 22 kills, but those are Zergling kills. And man, he just... So what Bunny needed to do, guys, is he needed to pull those last SCVs and just let them die outside the ramp so he could have got the wall up. And he should have put his Hellions on this side, I believe, so they could have got a nice splash. I mean, both angles would have been fine if he got the wall off. But yeah, that and the supply block delaying the battlecruiser. Because the moment the BC's out, you can start just focusing, shift-clicking the Ravagers down. If the BC was out before he gets up the ramp, and that the wall gets raised, you get to see how awkward Rogue's timing is. Because Rogue was not doing a very clean push. It was a 40 drone. There's a reason no one does a 40 drone push. It's too late to surprise them. They'll have multiple Banshees or something like that. It's purely a surprise build that's meant to catch someone where maybe he was hoping the battlecruiser would teleport to his side of the map and then he'd go in. But honestly, he didn't even build spores. He's only built 1 spore. So Rogue, I don't think he even had any idea what was happening. He was just like, oh, you're building a Viking first. I can just commit hard. So Roach Ravager Zergling. Who knows? Maybe it was even his plan before the game started. And he's going to dick him. But Bunny, he just needed to leave some of those SCVs outside the wall. Get the depot up. Get the Hellion splash on the ramp. Now he is all in on Marine Tank. He's not building SCVs. He's saying, you know what? He's going to be greedy. My one chance is to push hard with Marine Tank. Cut everything else. I've got shields. 1-1 stim. And I'm just going to go for the all-in attack and try to kill him. I've got 1 battlecruiser, but the Ling Bane count is growing. The 1-1 and the Baneling speed are just 20-30 seconds from finishing. There's already about 15 mutas on the field, or 6 + 5, sorry, 11 mutas will be on the field in the near future. The battlecruiser, not really going to be able to add much to this unless he pulls some SCVs to repair it, and it's a rally of just 5 Marines attacking a medevac at a time. Bunny desperately pushing for a chance to win. Rogue is going to see this 3rd base empty of workers, and he knows what he's up against right now. It is a 2-base all-in. We can see the worker count. It's not even that. It's less than 2 bases worth of workers. 38 workers versus 66. Rogue is not going to dilly-dally. I mean, he could dilly-dally. The longer he waits, the better for him. He's building so many more units than Bunny. He could take all the time in the world, but he just doesn't need to. The Ling Bane spread, he comes on in, the mutas and the Banelings going forth. Great spread from Bunny to avoid those Banelings, but there's just too many units behind it. The Lings, the mutas, the battlecruiser will go down, and indeed it does. The Queens are taking out the medevacs right now. The transfusers even going down on the mutalisks, and Rogue, the hype killer, has taken Bunny's miraculous, amazing run. The new Bunny that has been so powerful in this tournament. And Rogue is going to take a whole lot of Ravagers and Lings, shove them down his throat, and rip him apart from the inside out. That was a deadly, deadly series from Rogue. And he gets the 3-1 victory.